Hello everyone. Today we will be looking at the Apple TV HD from 2015. Does this device hold up in today's style and for usability? If you were indeed wondering that, we will be answering all of those questions in today's video. Now, without further ado, let's begin. As stated before, the Apple TV HD was released in the later half of 2015, September 2015 to be precise. This was the first big change to an Apple TV since the radically different design shift from the first generation to the second. First off, this device was the height of two third-gen Apple TVs. Well, almost. This was due to the built-in hard drive of this model. These came in either 32 or 64 gigabyte configurations, selling at retail for $150 and $200 respectively. But why would Apple want to include such high-capacity hard drives for a TV set-top box? Well, this was the peak of the microconsole era, which, in all honesty, wasn't even decently sized to say the least. The highest-selling microconsole was the Ouya, with around 200,000 units sold. As you can see, or rather hear, these weren't particularly popular, and this was honestly a terrible move on Apple's part. You see, they designed a whole new operating system for this generation of Apple TVs, and it added one of the things users wanted to see ever since the beginning, an App Store. But there was one huge flaw with this App Store, which was its selection. This store had been almost completely stripped of what made the store so great in the first place, which was tons and tons of apps. This Apple TV only supports games and streaming services. Sure, there are a few screensaver apps, but who needs them? The Apple TV already has built-in screensavers you can change. This was a letdown for many people that thought they could experience quality games and apps all from the comfort of their couch. But the best-selling game on the store is Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. That should give some perspective as to how bad this store really is. Furthermore, most people use this as a streaming box, including myself. Occasionally, people will stream from their iTunes libraries, like I also do. So what was the point of giving us the same amount of storage as a Nintendo Switch? In my opinion, Apple should have released an 8GB model for customers who didn't care for all of the apps and just wanted to stream content for around $99. Next, let's talk about this remote. This thing is, well, mediocre. When you first see one, it looks amazing and has all the things you want. A glass, touch-sensitive surface for faster browsing, a microphone for Siri support, and an ergonomic design that stays in your hand pretty darn well. Oh, I forgot to mention that this remote is rechargeable! That's right! A lightning cable is all you'll need. And there you go. No more AA's for you, although it didn't require AA's before. Plus, this thing has a battery that lasts for around 6 months to a year according to my use and others on the internet. The downsides about this remote really stem from the glass touch surface that replaces the D-pad of the previous remote. This was a tricky thing to get to work right and for users to even navigate and get used to. There's no digital input other than the select button, which is used by pushing down on the glass surface. The other main complaint is that the remote began to crack. This was usually caused by it dropping on something like a hardwood floor, or even in some cases, such as a patio or garage floor. You'd be surprised at the things that people use their Apple TVs for. This was solved by a third-party cases for the remote like this one here. This was a purchase by my mother, who needed it because, and I quote, it was a slippery little sucker. Now, I will admit it is thin, but she also had trouble keeping control of the newly released remote, even though it's around twice the thickness. So take that with a grain of salt. I should also point out that this is the updated version of the remote. This is the original remote. The only difference is the lip around the menu button, or lack thereof. This remote was very easy to get the hang of when we first got this when it was released. Mind you, I was 7 when this came out, so that puts this into perspective of how old this thing really is. Now I think it's time to discuss styling. The design of this Apple TV has gone unchanged for 6 whole years, and Apple stuck with it even through today's Apple TV, which was just released a couple of days ago. So I'd say it holds up pretty darn well in today's modern era. What I would personally like to see is a white version of the Apple TV, akin to Apple's old Airport Extreme / Airport Express models. Those I love the colors of, and they basically used, for at least the Express, the Apple TV 3rd Gen molding. So if they can create a new molding like this, but it's white, I would personally love to see that, and I would definitely get that. Plus, Apple aren't selling their Wi-Fi routers anymore, so it could be a possibility, just because there's less confusion as what's an Airport Express and an Apple TV. Now we've come to the conclusion, where, if you don't know, I rank items from the video on an 8-point scale. I also wrap up the video here, so... Anyways, onto the ranking. The Apple TV HD is a respectable breed from Apple. Its stylish design and luxurious black finish with both matte and glossy finishes grants it many points on the scale. The lackluster remote diminishes its perfect rating. So, the Apple TV HD rates at a 7 out of 8.